welcome to Getting to Good Enough, a podcast to help you let go of perfectionism so you can do more of what you love. I'm Shannon Wilkinson, a life coach in Portland, Oregon. I'm a recovering perfectionist who's getting better at good enough.
And I'm Janine Adams, a certified professional organizer in St. Louis, Missouri, and I'm lucky enough to be naturally good at good enough.
And today we're talking about adapting with ease.
Hey Shannon, how you doing?
I'm doing all right. How are you?
I'm doing all right. It feels like forever since we've spoken because I think we took a week off last week, and it feels like it was quite a week.
I know. It was a lot happened in our week apart.
Yeah, so it's nice to hear your voice again.
You too, although my voice, as you might hear or not, I don't know, it sounds like it's getting scratchier and scratchier to me. Because
of the smoke in Portland.
Yes, we have very, very high levels of smoke. We have been off the charts, hazardous in the air quality index, and we're back on the charts now, which is good. And we're headed down from hazardous to very unhealthy. And I can't tell you how excited I am to be in very unhealthy, hopefully later today.
How crazy is that? I know. I'm in Walla Walla, so I don't know, how far are we from each other? I don't know, however far that is, a few hundred miles.
Yeah.
And when I went to sleep Saturday night, we were hazardous. And when I woke up Sunday morning, we were at 299, very unhealthy. I'm like, yes!
Yeah, it's brutal.
Insane. It's brutal. So we'll try to make this brief and easy on your voice.
Yes.
Because you've got enough struggling just to breathe. You don't have to.
Well, I've been wearing a mask inside the house, and I decided I couldn't wear a mask and record. But
right. You probably could, but it wouldn't sound very good.
It would not sound good, and I want people to be able to understand what we're trying to say.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
So you got to have smoke from fires sort of chasing you on your trip, or you chasing it or something, right?
Yes, we so for people who listened to last week's episode, we took a trip to Eastern Oregon, and we had it planned out, and we were going to spend the first part of the trip in one area near the John Day Fossil Beds National Monument, and then we're going to spend a night out on the Alvord Desert, which is a dried up ancient lake bed that's now just a big flat playa. And it's just to the east of Steens Mountain. And then we're going to spend the last 3 days of our trip on the west side of Steens Mountain. But as we headed down that way, the smoke started getting thicker and thicker, and so we pulled over in the ironically named Burns, Oregon, and had to figure out what we were going to do. And for us, this area we are going to is a very remote part of southeastern Oregon. I mean, these are the two biggest counties in Oregon because they have the smallest populations, which is so strange. And so we had to decide what we were going to do, and we had to sort of, I don't know, like come up on the fly with criteria of how to make the decision, and then figure out what to do. And the whole thing was complicated by the fact that we had really poor cell phone reception, and so looking things up on the internet was kind of complicated.
So frustrating. That is so frustrating. Oh man.
Yeah. But what ultimately ultimately what we decided to do, or, sort of the criteria by which we made our decision, was that while there were only a few small fires, the smoke was coming from the western part of the state where most of the fires are. And there were only small fires that were all contained sort of down by where we were going. It was so remote, we decided that we didn't want to risk getting trapped in a remote part of the state if something changed dramatically and fires really picked up or smoke got worse or something. And so we decided to stay in the slightly more populated northeast portion of the state. And I've found the maps that show, there's maps that show you where the smoke zones are and what the grading is of the smoke. And we found the only city left in Oregon that was not in the smoke and headed there.
Smart.
And then from that place, we part of the problem too was that we stopped at a gas station, and these two, those huge coach RVs, like the really fancy ones, they two pulled up, and there was these two couples, one in each one, and the women both came out, and I said, "Excuse me, you guys look like you know what you're doing. We're trying to figure out where to go from here. Do you have any recommendations?" And they're like, "Oh yes," and gave us all these recommendations of places to go to. And then we started trying to call places, and everyone was booked up because people were both doing just exactly what we were doing for vacation, and then also trying to get out of the smoke. Right. So then we had to figure out like where we could go. But the thing, like the way we tried to bring ease to it was because we were already prepared to spend a night or two off the grid. We had everything we need. The batteries were charged up. There was fresh water in the water tank. The propane tanks were full. We had a full tank of gas. So we knew that worst came to worst, we could just pull over on the side of the road and stay in the RV if we needed to, like if we couldn't get into a park or something.
Yeah, so that took away a little bit of the stress. That's way better than sleeping in your car.
Right. And then we figured like since all the parks were full, like we'd pull over and, if a state trooper like knocks on our RV door, we'll be like, "Sorry, there was nowhere to go." Like, what are they going to do? Tell us to move along? Okay, we'll wake up and move along. But we ended up finding a U.S. Forest Service campground that had developed spots but no services. So there were pit toilets, and it was at this beautiful mountain lake at like 5,000 feet elevation, and we were above the smoke. It was spectacular.
Oh, wow. Nice.
Yeah, so we ended up staying there a couple of days and then headed out for one more night, and we picked where we were going that night based on the smoke map again, and then, headed home. But it was interesting, like trying to decide how we were going to make our decisions, and then, sort of going with a good enough decision.
Mm-hmm. Well, you sound like you really got in touch with what was important to you, which was to be safe.
Yes.
And worked with that. And really, it sounds like it worked out great. And then you had to come home to Portland, where the smoke was worse than where you were in Eastern Oregon, right?
Yes.
Yeah, that part sucks.
Yeah, well, and, part of it, 'cause it was funny because after we came down from the lake where we had no service at all, there was no cell service, there was no electricity, there was nothing. And then we came down off the mountain and decided to go to this small town, Baker City, which anyone heading through, it's an adorable town and I highly recommend it. It's really cute. It's their big claim to fame as being on the Oregon Trail. And so they've really sort of embraced that in the town.
What's the name of the town?
Baker City.
Oh, Baker
You'll
City.
pass through it on your way out of the Northwest.
I feel like, I've been by there. I just didn't hear. What I heard you say was small town, big city. What you said was small town, Baker City. So I was puzzled. Gotcha.
Oh.
Well, that's nice to know that it's a nice, that you had a nice little place.
Super cute. But so then I posted a picture from the lake and, with a blue sky, and everyone in Portland was like, stay there. Don't come home.
Right.
But, we wanted to get back to the kids. And because at that point, the fire was, really threatening coming into the suburbs of Portland. Mm-hmm. And people had been evacuated. And so we wanted to be back here and take care of the kids if we needed to and anything else that needed to happen. But luckily, the fires have been kept at bay. They're not contained, but they're not moving. Mm-hmm. So they've lightened some of the evacuation notices.
Oh, that's good.
Or reduced, not lightened, I guess.
So you were able to go with the flow to a certain extent, get the information you could. You had access, even though you had poor cell phone service, you managed to get access to your smoke maps so that you could make a decision. And that turned out really well, it sounds like. It sounds like you made a great decision.
Right, it was. And it was interesting because even though it was the complete opposite of the Alvord Desert, it was the same experience we were hoping to get, which is like this very quiet, serene, sort of not many people around environment. And that's exactly what we got.
Yeah.
It's really nice. And I would also like to point out that contrary to how I was talking about asking for help in episode 17, I asked for help.
You were the one, not Mike, who reached out to
and it wasn't
couples,
even Mike's idea. I was like, hey, I wonder if those people have those people look like they do this all the time. I wonder if they know of places to go. And he's like, that's a great idea. And I thought he was going to go ask him. And then I was like, I'm going to go ask. And he's like, oh, okay.
Oh, good for you, Shannon. That's great.
I was pretty proud of that.
Yeah, pat yourself on the back. Give yourself a high five for that one.
Yeah. Yeah. So we did a lot of adapting, especially I think it's just sort of funny after all of our conversation about careful planning last week. Mm-hmm. And I think you had to do some adapting on your trip.
Yeah, it's funny. You're right. We talked so much about being productive in our planning and not over planning and planning mindfully. And I felt like I had planned. I might have over planned a little. I felt like I had all the contingencies covered, but I didn't. A couple things. I didn't I didn't expect the smoke issue, which turned into an issue for me too, because it meant that I couldn't safely, in my quest to not get the virus and pass it along to my father, I couldn't get outside to meet with people safely since I've been here. So there have been a little bit more inside time than I might have liked. But the big thing was that a couple days into the trip, I had noticed this but didn't realize it was a big deal. And I mentioned to Barry on the phone that, my computer, it's like the top isn't closing all the way. And it's like, it seems like it's a little swollen. He's like, Janine.
Oh, God.
He said, don't plug your... And I said, it was fully charged this morning, and now it's not charged. He said, do not plug your computer in. Do not plug your computer in. And he said that could be very dangerous. So, of course, I had to call Apple, and I discovered that, sure enough, I had a swollen battery, which basically could have become an explosive device if I plugged it in. So, that meant I couldn't use my computer, right? Which actually isn't that big a deal. At the moment, it seemed like a huge deal. And the reason it seemed like such a big deal was that I had this video planned, this gift for my father. I honestly don't remember whether we've talked about it on the podcast, but I got 40 videos of 30 to 60 seconds from various people in my dad's life. And I got an iPad and I put them all on the iPad. And I'd already done that by the time I left town. But I had them all linked into a one long video, all but the 5 that came in after I left town. And it was on my computer. And my dream was that I would plug my computer into his TV and show him the video. That's what I really wanted to achieve. And so it felt really, really, really important for me to have my computer fixed. So I called Apple. The guy said, well, they can fix it at the Apple Store in Spokane. I was in Butte, Montana. They can fix it at the Apple Store in Spokane, but they can't do it until Thursday. This was Tuesday night. I'm like, yeah, that's not going to work. I'm passing through Spokane on Wednesday. And so he says, stop in Coeur d'Alene. Anyway, I ended up stopping in Coeur d'Alene, Spokane, and Richland. None of them could fix my computer. But the last one, the Richland person was at a computer repair place, authorized Mac dealer. I said, look, I need to be able to show this on the TV. And she said, well, you have an iPad. Yeah. Does it have a lightning connector? Yeah. Well, here. And it was a lightning to HDMI dongle adapter. She said, maybe this would help. And I was like, okay, sold. And so I spent $50 for that. And sure enough, I then could show it on my computer, but on the TV, but I had to get it. And it was in my back blaze, which is great, but I was having connectivity issues. And so anyway, at 11:30 at night, on the night before the birthday, I got it onto my phone. And so I was able to plug my phone into the TV and it actually worked. So he was awesome. Thrilled. Yeah. But there was a time, I was trying really hard to make it more perfect. And on the Thursday night at about 7-ish, when I called my friend in St. Louis, who's an Mac expert, and he said, basically what you need to do can't be done. I was like, okay. Thank you. That was really helpful information. I need to adapt what good enough is right now. Yes. And I said, I'm all about letting go of perfectionism so I can do more of what I love. And he said, oh, Janine, you're my idol. And I'm like, geez, dude, you don't listen to my podcast, do you? I didn't say that, but it clearly doesn't. And so anyway, I really did say those words out loud. And even if I hadn't been able to show it on the TV, or it definitely wouldn't have been as good because my dad only wants to see it on the TV. So he can't get his mind around looking at it on the iPad. So I'm really glad I have that dongle because he can watch it if he will absorb how to actually do it, which is not hard. He'll be able to watch it more times. He's watched it many times already. And he loves your contribution, Shannon. In your video, you said, I wish I could be there to give you a hug on your birthday. And every time he hears it, because I've heard it about 4 times, he says, so do I.
That's really cute.
Yeah. So, that was and then I had to figure out getting by without a computer the rest of the trip, although my brother lent me his Chromebook, thank you, Scott, which is how I'm able to record the podcast, which I don't think I could have done from my phone, because I think you have to have Chrome, and I haven't been able to access Cast on my phone, but maybe you could have, I don't know.
No, you can't do it from your phone. You have to have, you have to use the computer browser. But I think there was a way that you could call in or something. If we would have figured it out.
We would have figured it out. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, anyway, Scott came to the rescue then for that. So I am using a computer at this moment, but otherwise I've been limping along with my phone. And as Barry said, there are worse things than to have a reason not to do any work.
Yeah. Okay. That is such a good thing to remember.
Mm-hmm. It's all working out just fine. And I stressed out that day that I was trying to get to Walla Walla. It was the last day of a 30-hour trip. And I spent an extra 3 hours trying to get the damn computer fixed. That day was stressful. I may have shed a tear at the Apple Store, but which didn't help. didn't get anywhere with those tears. But it all worked out just fine. as these
good.
things do.
I'm sorry that it was as stressful as it was, but I'm glad that it all worked out.
Yeah, me too. Once I showed the video, then everything, I didn't realize how much stress, well, I was going to say I didn't realize how much stress I carried around about that, which until the computer broke, I had no stress because it was so awesome. I mean, it was the best gift I've ever given anybody. And so I guess I was feeling stressed that I was going to ruin the awesomeness, but it worked out.
Yeah, that's great. Well, and when we were thinking about this episode, one of the first titles we came up with was like stress-free, and you're like, well, I don't know if it was exactly stress-free.
Yeah, no, it definitely wasn't. Not that one day. Yeah, but I will say that the journey part of it, the 2,000-mile drive to get here, really was quite stress-free. I totally overplanned that part. Like, I did not need either of my female urinals.
I kept thinking about you on the trip. I was like, because I forgot to bring mine, and then I was like, at some point I was just like, if I'm gonna get coronavirus from sitting on a toilet, I'm gonna get coronavirus from sitting on a toilet. Like, I cannot be stressed about this.
Yeah. I did wear an N95 mask and a face shield whenever I went into the rest area, and believe me, I was the only one double masked, and some people weren't masked at all, but I didn't see that many people. But they were all clean, with the exception of maybe one of them.
Everything was super clean.
Yeah.
In fact, I picked up my paints again and did a little sketch while we were on our trip. And the thing that inspired me to do that was the extreme cleanliness of some pit toilets that we went to.
Wow. Those words don't usually go together, I don't think.
No, that's why it was so amazing. I was like, I came out, I said to Mike, I'm like, that's the cleanest, like, freshest smelling pit toilet I've ever been in. And he's like, what? And he goes in there, he's like, that's insane. And then I'm like, wow. I'm going to write them a thank you card. Because, it's like park rangers who maintain them. And I was like, they don't have an easy job necessarily. And so I was going to write them a thank you card. And then Mike's like, well, why don't you paint, draw something of this, because we were at this beautiful rock formation. And he's like, why don't you do something? And so then I just sat down with my paints and a pen and sketched him a little thank you card and left it for him. And
that's wonderful.
Yeah, and that was on our way out to go to another location. And then when we came back, it was gone. So that made me happy. I hope they got it and someone didn't take it.
Right. Because it was that beautiful a drawing.
Well, I don't know that it was that beautiful. I'll share it, but
nice.
It was sort of fun to do.
So, that's like another one of those silver linings around the, being adaptable, right? I mean, not only did you find a great place, this pit toilet was after you changed your plans.
No, right? The pit toilet was
before,
in the regular part of the original part of the itinerary.
Okay, well then.
But I will tell you something that did happen that wouldn't have happened is when we got up to this lake. So Mike has been experimenting with astrophotography, and at the lake, he was able to take shots of the Milky Way reflected in the lake.
Wow.
Yeah, it's pretty amazing.
That's cool.
Yeah, and that wouldn't have happened had we not, detoured and gone up there.
If you'd been in a desert instead of a lake.
Mm-hmm.
Right. Yeah, well, that's great. Well, let's hope that the smoke goes away. And, I'm thinking about my trip home, and on the way there, I was all about the COVID maps, and now I'm all about the fire maps overlaid over the COVID maps.
Right. Yeah, I was doing a little research for you before we started recording, and I was like overlaying those maps and trying to figure out like what was going to be the safest route for you to go home.
Yeah, I appreciate
quickest
that.
And safest.
I don't have a computer to do that for me. Quickest and safest. So that's nice. And I don't really want to go the exact same way anyway because, well, I wasn't going to, but it'll be nice to see something different. Might as well see as much as I can, right? In this journey. Boy, I've sure seen some pretty mountains and things.
Nice.
Since I've been traveling. Yes, and I did not go to Mount Rushmore. Isn't that sad? I spent the night in Rapid City, but when I got there, it was 40 degrees and raining.
Oh.
And I was like, yeah, no thanks. Sorry, stone presidents. I'm tired and cold. And I did have a down jacket. I was also afraid of tourists, right? Which in Rapid City was a smart thing to be afraid of because people were all over the place without masks on in a state that was red on the COVID Act Now map.
Right.
So I just hunkered into my lovely hotel room and didn't worry about the faces on the mountain.
Yeah.
That was another adaptation, right? I gave myself permission not to have to do that because I would have been miserable.
Yeah, it would have been miserable, but I could see how like you could feel like really sort of compelled, like I have to do this. When will I be back here? I need to do this.
Exactly.
And
it now I know
sucked.
it's driving distance from St. Louis, so.
Oh.
Kind of. 2 days drive.
Well, you did drive there.
I drove there.
I guess that is technically driving distance. Yeah. Well, I think it's just good to remember, the same things that we talk about over and over again is, knowing what's important to you. And then, and Mike and I talked about, like what experience, since we have to change our trip on the fly, what experience are we hoping to have? Mm-hmm. And that's how I found the lake. And so we got to have the experience we wanted, even though it was like the complete opposite situation, complete opposite environment.
I just love that, really clear example of the importance of knowing what's important to you. And that's just great. It's a good one. Mike's a lucky guy.
Well, he was very disappointed that we couldn't stay longer. Even just yesterday, he's like, I wish we could have stayed at that lake longer. And he's like, how long does it take to get there? Could we just go there?
Yeah, you could just have your next trip be there. How far away is it?
I think it's about 4.5 hours.
Oh.
So,
to me, that
it's
feels
doable.
like nothing.
Yeah, I know now. Yeah. It's like, well, that's nothing.
So when you were in northeastern Oregon, how far were you from Walla Walla?
We drove through LeGrand. Mm-hmm. And then, what's the town? Is it Hermiston that you sort of turn left at?
Yeah.
Yeah. So we were there.
Oh my gosh.
Is that like an hour and a half from Walla Walla?
Yeah, something like maybe an hour. Yeah. About an hour, I think.
I know. I was tempted to call you and say, do you want to meet us in Hermiston? We'll be there in an hour.
I know. What day was that? Was I in Walla Walla?
That was on Saturday.
Oh, yeah.
That was on our way home.
Right. The smoke was so bad that would have probably...
Yeah, it was. We just wanted to get home.
Right, exactly.
I didn't even bring it up to Mike. It was like we had such a long, gross day of driving ahead of us that...
Yeah, absolutely. Under ordinary circumstances, if it had been a usual Eastern Oregon or Washington blue sky day, that would have been a fun thing.
And frankly, I think it would have been really sad to see you and not hug you.
I know, right? I hear that.
Like that feels sort of weird, but like it seems like it would be almost sadder to see you and not hug you than not see you.
I don't think so, Shannon.
Anyway, so anything else to adapting with ease?
No, I love that we were able to give an almost real-time update to our last productive planning episode.
I know, it's pretty funny.
Yeah.
Well, and hopefully, people get something out of it, because it's not just about trip planning. I think you can use this in a lot of different areas.
That's right. Well, and I have high hopes that my computer will. I had to mail my computer to Apple, not mail it, FedEx it, and it's conceivable I won't have a computer next time we record.
Oh gosh,
on Monday next week we might have to reschedule or something, but we'll see.
Yep, we'll just figure out how to adapt.
That's right. We'll adapt accordingly.
Yes. Well, we want to hear from you. When do you find it easy to adapt, and when is it more difficult? You can let us know on social media, Facebook and Instagram, we're at Getting to Good Enough, and on Twitter, we're at GTG Enough. You can leave us a message at 413-424-GTGE, that's 4843, or you can head over to the website, gettingtogoodenough.com, and leave a comment in the show notes. But for now, this is Shannon Wilkinson in Portland, Oregon.
And Janine Adams in Walla Walla, Washington.
And we hope that good enough is getting easier for you. I wondered if you were going to say Walla Walla or...
Well, it's more fun to say Walla Walla.
Yeah. And it's true.
Yes.